All right, very good afternoon to ladies and gentlemen. All right, welcome to my sessions. My name is Chia Yean. I'm from INTI International University and College. So I'll present the papers, which is also one of my research on the gamified approach to improve students' learning experience on the Blackboard Learns. Right, so actually this is a research that was conducted recently with me and my research team. So here, these are my research team. So from my right, you can see we have three colleagues here, Ms. Vasuky Mohanan, Ms. Nisha Jyoti, and also Mr. Teng Wei Jian. So unfortunately, they could not join us today because we are still having classes back in Malaysia. So they are having classes over there. Right, we are lecturers for the schools of engineering and technology from INTI International College Penang, which is one branch of the INTI brand. And we are serving and teaching for the computer science and computing degree programs for franchise degree, which is Coventry University, UK. Right. So these little bits are introductions of why we are going so much into the gamification approach. So this could go back to 4 years ago, where since the 2016, I got the opportunity to attend a workshop which was conducted by Mr. Yu Kai Chow, who is the gamification pioneer and also the creator of the Octalysis framework on the gamification mastery workshop for the educators. So further on, when I get the knowledge with me, so I proposed to the college that we should start to research and adopt the gamification teaching methodology, especially in the computer science and computing degree classrooms and programs where this is the department where I'm leading in. Right, so further on in 2018, we managed to present our first research outcomes and findings in one of the conference, which is the iSTEM 2019 in Penang, Malaysia. So all the research that we have done over the past few years are actually basically focused on gamifications in the in-classroom, which is face-to-face interactions. So we would like to further make it one step ahead, which is go on to the online blended learn areas. So that's where I'm today to share with you my latest research outcomes. Right, so these are the three main areas that I will focus today. So the first part, which is the background, I will look into the college blended Blackboard implementation, which is the INTI, and also what are the problems and issues we solved that will lead to the research objective of my team. And secondly, I will give a little bit introductions about what is gamifications, including the definitions, reasons to gamify in the Blackboard Learn, as well as the learning areas involved that I have conducted in my college. So finally, this is the main agenda for today, which is the gamification on the Blackboard Learn. So I will share with you on the explorations on student acceptance, the outcome, as well as the implementation suggestions. Right, so without further ado, so let's look into the first section, which is the background. All right, so a little background about INTI. So INTI International University and College has been established for more than 30 years. And under the INTI brand, we actually got 6 branches in Penang, KL, Sabah, and Subang, Nilai, Seremban as well. So INTI College and universities offers courses range from the foundations until the postgraduate degrees, and our courses are actually implemented and conducted in various modes such as face-to-face classroom, online blended, and as well as fully blended learning. So Blackboard is our main online learning platform. So in 2014, we formally introduced the use of Blackboard as a student online learning management systems. And further on, 2 years later, INTI introduced blended learning mode to all levels of studies, whereby in all the degree and diploma studies, 1 hour of the face-to-face study modes has been conducted to the online study, where students will conduct self-paced learning with the blended learning materials that were provided by the lecturers on the Blackboard. All right. And further on, in year 2017, INTI introduced another features, which is the course analytics in the Blackboard to monitor the effectiveness of the blended learning through the Blackboard. And the analytics reports actually shows that some courses have lower Blackboard engagement rate and retention rates in comparison to other programs. So there might be 3 reasons that they stated here. The first one could be the ineffective design of course materials, and secondly could be the inappropriate adoption of Blackboard tools and assessment components which were used by the lecturers. Or it could be from another perspective, which is the students would like to have more engaging components with an element of fun in their learning. So with that, it leads to the motivations to conduct research to identify the gamification research that could be adopted in Blackboard with the intentions to improve students' learning experience on the Blackboard. So there are in total 6 gamification features that I will explore today. So the first 3 would be the leaderboard, point system, and e-badges, and the other 3 would be the interactive contents games, multiple level game activities, or peer competitions and games. All right. Okay, so before I go to share about my research outcomes, let's have a little bit more understanding about what is gamification. All right, according to this Oxford Dictionary, gamification has been defined as the application of typical elements of game playing. For example, we can use point scoring, competition with others, or rules of play to other areas of activity, typically as an online marketing techniques to encourage engagement with a product or service. So it does not necessarily be a game. But on the other hand, we can use game elements and gameplay mechanics in non-game context, such as learning. So learning is our main objective, play is the second. So we want to make these two to combine and blend together to make it as a more powerful learning experience. Right, there are reasons behind why we should gamify learning. So as you can see here, gamification involves 6 components, include user engagement, reward, achievement, motivations, learning, as well as challenge. Right, on the other hand, in the education learning environment, I strongly believe that gamifications could add the elements of fun to learning and at the same time motivates learner to participate actively during the learning sessions. And in addition, it could keep the learners focused and get the most out of the learning at the same time. All right. There are also other research that has supported the gamification learning as well. So according to this Talent RMS, this research shows that 86% of learners say the point system would boost their engagement, and 82% will in favor of multiple difficulty levels and exploratory contents, and thirdly, 62% would be motivated to learn if the leaderboards were involved and they could compete with the colleges. So these 3 findings shows that gamifications actually could boost students' engagements and learning at the same time. All right, so back to the learning environment. So there are also gamification research that has been conducted in other countries and also other areas, and it is found that under the STEM teaching areas, especially the T technology, gamification has been used in the learning of basic programming algorithm, computer science, computer security, as well as the programming semantics. And this research has found that gamifications able to improve and increase students' intrinsic motivation, cognitive engagement, as well as the learning engagement. And on the other hand, there are also research that has been conducted to explore what are the environment and resources that could be used for gamification learning. So you can see that the first one, which is the Moodle, which is also another version of the learning management system, has been found to be significantly useful in the outcomes on the gamification effectiveness, in improvements of the student attendance, and also students' learning participation. That's why it's motivated me to look into Blackboard engagements through the gamification approach. All right, so previously we have talked about what we have done, has been done by other people. So this is what I have done in INTI College, right? So over the past 2 years, after we have gathered enough confidence and preparations on getting the gamification activity done properly, so we actually have designed and successfully conducted 10 gameplay sessions, which involve 10 computing and information technology subjects. So up until today, as a total of 160 students have participated in the gamification activities, and I have a group of 9 lecturers under me who actually helping me in getting this gamification learning process done successfully. All right, so let's have a look. What are the areas and the subjects involved in the gamification teaching in INTI? So firstly, we have done the gamification activities in usability design as well as mobile and web design. And the activities could be just a station game which involve indoor and outdoor activities, or just a rocket race and mini codathon that involve a lab setting, and it could take place for 2 to 3 hours in the lab or even the classroom. And further on, people say that programming is dull, but to me, programming couldn't be dull if you add on some games elements. So how do we make programming better? So we can use like a very simple tool like Kahoot to make it as an online interactive revision sessions with students in the class itself. And if you want to make this gamification activities more challenging for higher level students such as degree students, then we could able to design the programming level challenge competitions or also the concurrency game competitions for our students to engage. Other subjects could be involved like system development, pervasive computing, and also artificial intelligence. So you can see that there are very unique names that the lecturers use. Marshmallow challenge. It's not for eating. It's using the marshmallow to develop an agile approach. And we have lab games and debate as well as jam robot game. So the name itself already captured the eye of the students, and they are actually quite enjoy the game itself. Right, so whatever I've presented is mostly on the gamifications in class as well as the face-to-face students interactions. So my research has proven that students were actually happy with the face-to-face gamifications learning and teaching methodology. However, if you want to make this gamification approach to online environment, then we need to do further studies to make sure that it is well done and prepared correctly. Okay, so it leads to the third part of the presentation, which is the gamification of Blackboard Learn. So firstly, I will share with you how I conduct my research. Right, so my research is actually an exploratory study which involved 117 students in total from the Computer Science and Computing degree program in INTI International College, Penang. Right, so the research scopes will involve 6 areas of gamification features that are favored by the students. So these are the 6 gamification areas that I have proposed. So the first one is e-badges. Second one is the multiple difficulty level games and activities. Then follow on, we have the point systems, interactive contents or games, leaderboards, and as well as the last one, which is the peer or group competition and game. Right, further on, this research has been conducted by using an online questionnaire with 5-point Likert skills questions. So students need to answer questions about their demographics as well as the questions on their intentions and willingness and likeliness to use the 6 areas of gamification features if they will be adopted in the online Blackboard learning environments. Okay, so the learning outcomes would be measured using the statistical analysis methods such as the descriptive analysis, mean analysis, as well as t-test analysis. Right, let's look into the findings. Right, so the first one, in total of 53.8% of respondents were students from year 3, and there are 29.9% of students and 16.3% of students were from year 2 and year 1 of degree study respectively. All right, and on the questions on asking for the frequency of access to Blackboard per week, so we can see that more than 75% of students responded that they access Blackboard at least twice per week. So this is actually a good sign of students will actually engage in the Blackboard Learn environment. However, in the third questions, which we're asking about, how long would you spend to complete a subject's weekly blended learning task in the Blackboard. Unfortunately, over half of the students, with like 54% of them, answered that they only use 30% or lesser to engage and do the online activities in the Blackboard, which this outcome is actually not consistent with our INTI directions, because according to our online blended learning policies, all students' learning should at least be conducted for 1 hour per subject. So it shows that students are actually learning in lesser time that they should be expected. Okay, then we further ask students, do you like the blended learning tasks which were given to you in the Blackboard? So you can see that only 26.5% of them give a positive response, maybe about the course content, or they don't like the tools that has been used, that's why we need gamification. Let's see later. Right, and I prompt them from another perspective. Do you like to play game? Then you can see, wow, 65.8% of students say that, yeah, we would like to play games. And I further prompt them, if I'm giving you an online task which is designed in a gameplay mode, would you like to play it? Then you can see that students is actually giving on the yellow, green, and also the purple level, which is more than 65% of students actually say, agree and strongly agree that they would like to attempt the online learning task, which is in the gameplay mode. And that leads to the motivations that actually it could be able to conduct the gameplay sessions online for the learning purpose. All right, so for my research, actually, I have derived 6 hypotheses in total. So the first 3 hypotheses would look like whether the students will attempt online blended learning tasks on the Blackboard if the 3 learning components, such as the multiple difficulty level games and activities, interactive contents or games, and also the third one, which is the peer or group competition as games, are used as the learning tools. Right. Then we have another 3 hypotheses which will be tested on whether students will attempt the online blended learning task on the Blackboard if another 3 evaluation tools were used, such as like the point systems, e-badges, and also the leaderboards are used to evaluate their task performance. So these are the 6 hypotheses that I have derived. All right, so here comes the outcomes. So from the research that the respondents that have collected for the 117 students, the mean analysis shows that all 6 of the explored areas in the game set features in Blackboard has actually an average score of 3.4 to 3.6. So, and for the one sample t-test analysis, it is shown that all the 6 areas of the gamification contents show significant output with p-value of 0, where I use a test value threshold of 3.5. So in conclusion, all the 6 hypotheses which I'm testing were accepted. Okay, so let's go to the last part, which is on the implementation suggestions. So hereby I will look through on how we can actually, using gameplay mode, to design the online activities to the students with these 6 components. All right, the first one that I'd like to share is actually the multiple difficulty level games or activities. So all my methods would be in just a simple 3-step method. So the first one is such as lecturer design a game and activity with the multiple level. Then step 2, students need to complete the game and activity online before they are able to proceed to the next level, which is level by level. Right, so upon completion of the full level, students can be awarded with the points, e-badges, or leaderboard ranking. So this is one of the examples that I have conducted for my students. So this is a game for searching and sorting algorithm. So in level 1, which is most simplest, where students need to compile the code, and then the level of difficulties and challenge would increase from level to level. So as lecturers, how we can do it, we could actually leverage the assignment submission portal as the submissions location for students to submit their outcomes and the game answers to us. And we could also actually use the adaptive release features, which means, well, students already submitted, let's say, the level 1, and level 2 will be automatically opened for the students. So the advantage of using this adaptive release is the lecturer would not need to busy themselves to open this portal for this group, open another portal for another group during the gameplay process. So the setting is very important for lecturers during the gameplay process so that the gameplay is smooth and there will be no other challenges which is unnecessarily involved. Right. And the second one, so this is the second method. Second method, we involve the use of interactive contents and games. So again, these are the three-step methods that I would propose. So firstly, lecturer identifies an external game and embed it into the Blackboard content. Then students attempt the game as learning. So how about the outcomes? Right, so the learning outcomes could be the submission of game completion screen, just maybe as a print screen, and submit it back to the submission portal to let the lecturer to review. Right, actually there are two ways of doing this. One way is like you actually looking into some embedded tools such as the Raptivity, that you can embed the HTML and JavaScript code into the Blackboard environment directly, but you may need to check with your institutions whether your institute has purchased this Raptivity, which is need a little bit cost. Right, later I will introduce you which one which is not free of charge. Right, so this is how we can do it. We just import it into one of the content areas and then just put it into our Java, just copy JavaScript from the Raptivity website and copy it over here. Right, so I actually doing a quite thorough search on what are the the visualization and also the interactive animation games that could be used for different fields of studies. So under this physics, engineering, chemistry, this is one of the flash animation games that you can use. And the second one is actually for programming and data structure, which is Visual Algo and also USFCA. So unfortunately, all these games are unable to directly embed it into Blackboard. So what we can do is we just give the link to the students in the Blackboard and ask them to attempt in the internet browser and print screen the outcome as evidence of completion to us. Okay, other areas could be like business studies. There is also a quite good simulation tool which is called the Marketplace Live that you can actually go for it. There is a trial versions, then if you're interested you can purchase it. Then for photographer, you can have this Nico Lens simulator, which is definitely free of charge. And for science and maths teacher, this PET interactive simulation is strongly encouraged because I feel that this is a replacement version for Raptivity, which is chargeable. So this is not chargeable, and at the same time, you could find whatever topic that you would like your students to engage. You just need to search for this embed button, and they will have a running copy code, which is the HTML codes of these particular windows. All right, these simulation windows, where you go back to your Blackboard, you just need another 4 steps, which is you come back, you create content, then you create item, add the embedded HTML code into that sections, and you're done. Right, so students don't even no need to exit the Blackboard and go to another places, but actually they can just play inside there, just like how we embed the Office 365 into our Blackboard, where we could do nowadays like sway and everything. So this is also another external things that I found that is useful. Right, so that is the second one. All right, so let's go to the third one. Okay, the third one would be the peer and group competition games. So gamifications, one part of it is also looking into engagement, and engagement should not be only lecturer and students, it could also be students and students, peer learning, right? So in this area, in this method, I will propose lecturer to design a competition and game and put it as a wiki topic. And from students' part, they could form groups and participate there in the wiki topic as a group. Right? So students earn points and marks as set in the rubric to win competition as a group. So you need to do some setting to make this wiki works as a group competition. So firstly, you need to go to the group wikis and make sure that you set the wikis as the point with points possible enabled. And later on, more settings should be done, such as in the area of what is the grade that you would like to award to the students, what about the due date, and also you design a proper rubric to make this gameplay structure and time-bound as well. And on the other hand, you should also set the visibility properly, such as student access and students' comment area should set to be open for editing. However, under the viewer process, we should restrict the view to its group members only, because this is a competition, all right? So usually wiki, we use it as just like our online Wikipedia, which is public, and each group can just use it as the knowledge sharing. But under this purpose, we are using it as a competition, so we are not going to open it. All right, so how lecturer can actually assess wiki as a competition? So there will be one area such as the participation summary. So under that, you can see that all the participants, the rates, such as how many words they have typed in, how long they have engaged in this page here and there. So lecturers could actually put this as one of the criteria for winning these wiki games in the competition. So it's more towards on how lecturer want to design in the way you want. All right, so that are the 3 areas for the interactive features online. And next 3 would focus on what are the evaluation tools that could be used online for the gamification approach to award and also motivate students. So the first one would be the e-badge. So e-badge could come out with 2 outcomes, which is one is actually send it to your email as notifications of completion of study, task, and also your quizzes and anything. And another one could be designed as an open badges where you can use it and share it anywhere, just like your LinkedIn badges, so you can put it on your own profile. So in the badges, this is what we have used in INTI itself, where we conducted many online trainings as well as like quizzes, tests online. So every time students completed one test or one quiz and even one online game successfully, we will send them an online badges through email. So there are many things that lecturer can customize to make these e-badges looks wonderful and unique. For example, you can customize the badge name, the badge logo, and the badge, all the badge will have a unique badge number, date of issuer, and also the issuer's name. So it will make it so unique that it is the badge that you are the one and only one that got this badge. So make the students happy. And many types of badges could be awarded according to the range of the points that the students got in the games or in the setting that you have set it, such as it could be in the apprentice, novice, experts, or practitioner levels of the badge. And the badge logo again, you can just redefine it and make it your own. If you are a good artist, you can draw your own badge to your students. Okay, so next would be a point system. So point system is pretty easy. This is what we have used commonly, whereby after a student submitted some works, then we will award points to them properly. All right, so the things here is pretty the same as what we have done commonly. But my concern is lecturers must show feedbacks and points to the students openly and transparently, because whatever it is, this is the assessment outcomes, and students really need to know how they perform, and they really need to know that this assessment has actually been marked fairly and consistently across the classmates so that they are happy and willing to do other tests subsequently. Right. So this is one of the samples that I have done in my high-tech entrepreneurship class. So I actually give students a sample, simple instructions with a link that please read these articles and review the two parts of the franchise business with 50 to 100 words. It no need to be a very long assessment. It could be just a 1-hour assessment and the students submit online and you award points to them accordingly. All right, so if you want to make it even more challenging, you can never tell the students, hey, if you do my work consistently, since it is an weekly online blended work, then your points will be accumulated. At the end of the semester, you would get something special, but you don't tell them what is the special things, and maybe you could just award them with 1 mentors or you just can get them with one chocolate or something like that. So to me, I will give them something special that I will show you later in a while. And this leads to the last evaluation tools, which is the leaderboard. So leaderboard, for these parts, lecturer can design a series of the weekly tasks and activities for students, and students need to complete each week's task to earn the point, and the point will be accumulated and shown in the leaderboard. So there are two types of leaderboards that are available. So one is the Gamified leaderboard, which is available under the Blackboard the package, but it needs to be subscribed by your institution, so you may need to check it out. Then another method is lecturer need to do some homework, which means you need to draw your own graph every week, and then you just upload that. So lecturer sometimes is as an artist. So my arts improve a lot after I become a lecturer. So that's a good thing for us. Right, so that is the way how we can find Gamified. If your dashboards add course module there, got this Gamified leaderboard version, which means congratulations to you, you can use it formally. If not, talk to the institution, say, hey, I need this, ask for budget and get it. Right, so a few settings that lecturer need to do. You can change the bar color, level and points required, who are the students involved in the leadership board, and also the grade column to be used, like week 1 to week 10. Okay, so this is the setting you have in the Blackboard itself, right? So the bar color, the points, the students' names, as well as the area of points accumulated. So these are the template given by the Gamified. There are two versions. One version is with student name, and the other version is without student's name, right? So basically, there would be suggested, like students see this because there will be show some anonymous for the students, like you don't compare to the others, but you just know how well are you yourself doing, right? So, but for lecturers, because lecturers need to know how well the whole class is performing, so we got a different view. And you can see that this is where the different level that you set. So if you want to set it as elementary, intermediate, advanced, and experts, then you just set it properly, then you can get different part of it. So you can see that different quadrants, how many students are totally over there, and you can see how well are they progress. And these parts will actually makes you have a good preparations on your revision plan. So that's what I use in my course. Okay, so as is a game, I understand that game, we do not need to give expensive games. So I tell the students, my game got trophy and got medal. They were like, wow, you really go and create one medal for us? I say, yes. So my medal is 1 box of potato chip. This one is Tesco brand, very cheap. And they like food. And what is my medal? My medal is actually a cardboard that I just staple, put my 210 CT programming, lab programming level game champion. And then I will have a free lanyard, which is from my counterpart, Coventry University. Thank you very much. And then I will have a notebook, pen, and also even a certificate. And actually this is a promotional vouchers. Your future starts here. I feel that it's so meaningful, so I give the students. So do you want to see the students' reaction? These are they. So, and pardon all the sleepers because there was a raining day. Students come to my class with all slippers, and I have a very bad photographer skills. So this is the photos I get. So you can see they have different price. This is the champion with medal, trophy, and certificate. This is the first runner-up with a notebook and certificate. This is the second runner-up with a pen and certificate. Okay, not bad, right? So we have winners. Everyone happy? All right, okay, so I've been covered a lot, so let's go for the conclusion. Right, so the intention to introduce gamification approach to online part of the blended learning environments, they're actually two. So the first one is to create inclusive learning experience to students via various accessible, interactive, and challenging games. So this is more on the content basis. And second part, it is expected that we could improve the students' engagement, learning success, as well as the retention in the self-paced online part of the blended learning environment. Because we are tertiary education college, and we hope that students will be independent enough and they would do the online work in their own self-pace properly. Okay, and as I said, this study is just an exploratory study, so more research and tests should be carried out to make the things really significant. So these are my suggestions. So I would like to include the six features of gamifications in the online blended learning material designs in my course and also my teaching team. And at the same time, I would make it mandatory to conduct five actual online gamifications for 5 subjects as mandatory first pioneer test. Right, and at the end of the 5 sessions, what I will do is I will monitor the effectiveness of the gamification blended design via the weekly and monthly cost analytics reports. So again, we are leveraging all the tools, techniques, and features that we have in the Blackboard to make use of the gamification activities. Okay, all right. So last but not least, as educators, I believe that gamifications can help people in this context is my students to learn as they play, right? So I hope that my sharing would inspire you to use a little bit more fun elements or design of the learning materials to your students. So I will end my slides with acknowledgement. So I'd like to thank INTI for the trip sponsors and contribute to my team. These are all my team members from INTI International College Penang, which assist me in all the gamifications sessions. Right, thank you very much. Right, and questions that you would like me to share more with you? All right, thank you for your questions. So how to check progress? So as you can see earlier, I got 6 submission links. So each level, yeah, sure. Let me roll it back. This one. Oh, yellow is actually my own slides only. This is actually to show you this is the title that I designed for each level. This is the questions, title and questions. Yeah. This is actually a revision game. Okay, so which means what I have done is I've actually taught this topic first, then after that only I have to conduct this game. So students would able to use their knowledge to apply in this game in stage-by-stage basis. So once they submitted, each level would have 1 rubric for marking. So after the marking done for all the 6 levels, then I would combine the class as the winner. No, the student just progress based on their answers given in the earlier, which means this is a progressive like contents they've learned. Yep. Yes. Good question. So actually these games I conducted 3 times. So the first time actually I really checked, then let the students to progress with paper-based in the lab. And it's really time consuming. Really time consuming and it's very messy. So I converted it online marking. And so when the students say they submitted, I just do at the station, I'm at the lecturer station. So they submit, so I just view and I will just, okay, go, ongoing. But the students still can ongoing because it's auto. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yeah, so that is the challenge part of how to blend programming course. So another thing that I could share with you is instead of ask them to write the program, you ask them to write the compilation outcome, which means the outcome of the program, which is, yeah, which means the outcome will be the same for everyone because it's compiled. Then we will, okay. Yep. Yes. Okay. Look, yes. Yeah, so there would be restrictions for games in a certain time. So you should only design games for certain topics only. So when in me and my team, even like I tell the earliest the presenter, we actually discuss a lot on how frequent we need to do this gameplay. We should not do it too frequent and for every sections on every topics as well. Students will get bored and they will get down easily. You know, students got very low retentions, the space and interest space. So it's not encouraged. So we have to really find a good topic to gamify. That's what Wes I say. Right. So far this is the topic that I feel is most suitable under data structure class. You may find your own topics. Yeah. Yes, correct. It's just like mini hackathon. Yep. True. Yes. Correct. So I assume there's no more question. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.